Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to show you a walkthrough of our process that we take step by step of what we do to generate meetings, qualified meetings for our clients and help them close more deals. So I'm going to give you an overview of what this looks like. And this is basically a four, maybe 5-step process if you include the small details. And I'm going to show you and walk you through how it works step by step and how it works in terms of cold emails to help you land more meetings. So the first thing here is we want to send from multiple different accounts. We want to be able to send a lot of volume with our emails. So we want to combine quality and quantity at the same time. And the way that we do this, instead of using a software like MailChimp or any of these email marketing, we're not doing email marketing. We're doing cold email. It's different, right? We're sending to a lot of people. We cannot blast out one email to everyone on our list. If we've got a list of like 2,000 people, we cannot do that. So instead, what we need to do is we need to mimic the behavior of one-to-one emails across multiple different email accounts and then across multiple different domains. And the reason we do that is so that we can bypass spam filters and making sure that we're not landing in spam and we're not getting our domains blacklisted. Whereas if you were to spam email a whole bunch of people, then you'll get your domains blacklisted. No one's blacklisted. No one's going to see your emails. No one's going to see your messaging whatsoever. Whereas with this way, you stand a much, much, much higher chance. And with us working on doing this for you, you stand a much higher chance of being able to actually get your emails delivered, seen, and responded to with your prospects so that you can book in more qualified meetings. Little plug, if you want to learn more about how we do that, then and you want to set up a time to call, then you can book in with my calendar below in the description. So how do we do this? So what we do is we set up, if we would start working together, we set up multiple what's called satellite domains. So you might have your main domain, which is, let's just call it abc.com, right? That's your website, abc.com. Now, we won't use abc.com, nor should you, to do cold email outreach, because that's the email address that you use every single day to send and receive emails from your suppliers, from your vendors, to internal, all this kind of stuff. Now, if you use that and you get that blacklisted, that's going to end in lots of problems and potentially the domain just being blacklisted and having huge issues. So you don't want to do that, and you don't want to do that, especially if you've got a company-wide thing and you've got a large company and you're doing this. You do not want to do that. You want to have multiple domains and then multiple inboxes rotating underneath those domains. So this is what I mean. We would have set up aliases, so satellite domains, that are very similar to your current domain. So this might look like try abc.com or use abc.com. So instead of just abc.com, we would try abc.com, use abc.com, get abc.com, and so on. That would be domain 1, domain 2, domain 3, and so on and so forth. We would set up multiple that are very similar. Now, all of these would forward to your main domain. So when someone types in try abc.com, it will just go to abc.com. Now, underneath this, we will have 2 emails per domain. So we would have email account number 1, and this would send 30 emails. And then we would have email account number 2. This would also send 30 emails every single day. Now, when we zoom out, we're doing that across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 domains, right? And we can set up multiple more. We can set up 10, 20. We can set up as many as we want to hit the volume that you need. So we can break down the metrics and understand like how many emails we need to send to get a response and to get a meeting and so on. But this is how it works on a simple scale. Right? And we don't go above 30 per day because most humans do not send more than like 30 to 50 emails per day per account. Otherwise, that ends up then flagging to Google Outlook that you could be spam. So we only send up 30 emails. And the way this would work is it would send one email from here, one email from here, one email from here. And then once it gets to the end, it will then go back to sending the email from here. So there's like a rotation, essentially you're rotating. So that's how it would work. So that's the first step, is making sure that you have the correct infrastructure in place to be able to send volume, to be able to send quality and quantity outreach, and to be able to send cold emails at scale, essentially. So we are able to handle that for you so that we are able to send basically 1,000 plus emails per day. And this is how we do it. We obviously do a lot more in terms of like the technical setup, configuring all the backend to make sure that the deliverability is good, but this is the basics of how it works. The next step in the process is list building. So once we've got the domains set up, ready to go, which normally takes a 2-week time frame because we need to warm them up. Warming them up basically means and signals to Google Outlook that, hey, this is a real email account that's being used and being replied to by multiple people. That's done relatively automatically, but the warm-up is necessary to make sure that your email looks real rather than just using a fresh email that is brand new, basically. So we don't want to do that. So that's another thing just to add in. So list building. We've obviously got multiple different providers here that we can use. So you might want to use maybe Apollo, LinkedIn, Crunchbase, Clay, ListKit. Clay is really good because it allows you to aggregate lots of different data sources. So you don't need to have a subscription to each individual one. You have one subscription to Clay, and Clay allows you to pull all that information into one place. ListKit, Crunchbase, etc., etc. Right? We've used all of these. They're all fantastic. They're all really, really good. Our favorites, or my favorite, is Apollo and Clay. But the other ones are also incredibly good. And most people, to be honest, they get most of the information from LinkedIn. Crunchbase is very good if you're looking for tech, investors, things like that. Let's get verifieds. And then Clay, you can basically do everything all in one place. So you would build your list in one of these. Now, let's just take example. You're using Apollo. You could come in here and you could look at the different filters and everything that they have. And you can obviously search by, let's just say you're doing it on a people filter. You could search by the job titles. You want, I don't know, CEOs, right? You want CEOs of every company that is, over X amount of people or employees. Another cool thing that you can do is also filter by management level. So you can filter by owners, founders, C-suite. And this is actually what we prefer to do, just because a lot of times people won't always have CEO or founder in their title, but they might still be in those positions at companies and they're just not categorized properly, or they're not updated on their LinkedIn or anything like that. So sometimes we can do that. VPs a lot of times actually have a higher level, like a very high level position. Sometimes they can actually be the owner of the company, even though for some reason their profile might say VP, especially if they're like it's a smaller company. Not always the case, but again, you just want to cover and make sure you're all covered in that sense. Head, directors, things like that, and then that's how we'll search for it. And then you can also go by departments and functions, so you can do C-suite and you can click it here and kind of see what this is talking about, what it's including. For a lot of the businesses that we work with, we're normally targeting marketing, sales departments, and C-suite. So really, we would just take like marketing, sales, right? And then on top of that, we can also filter by the location. So this is either the contact's location, so where the person is located, and this will be based on where their LinkedIn is. So again, it's not always 100% accurate, but you can have pretty good indication. So they could be, remote, working in London, or they could be traveling, and it may not always update, but that's part and parcel of the game. But it's going to be pretty good. Then you've also got account where the business is located, so you can search for those things. You can also search for your zip codes. You can do based on the number of employees. And one of my favorite things about Apollo is you can actually do custom ranges. A lot of these other platforms don't let you do custom ranges. They have predefined filters already, which I don't like. Which is great because you can click custom range and then you can literally put like 0 to, I don't know, 60, 67, 68, whatever it is. Right, which is great. But other than that, and then they'll also tell you as well, if you go predefined range, it'll tell you how many are within each of the segments of like the predefined ranges, which is pretty cool. So you can filter like that, and then you can go industry. So you can type in any of the industries that you want. They've got a whole bunch of different industries here. My only thing with this is, again, the categorization isn't always the best. So I actually prefer to, instead of doing it via industry, I prefer to do it via the company keywords. The company keywords are usually, if you click advanced here, they're usually pulled from either the company name, like their social media tags, their social media description, or the SEO description. Now, I prefer to click these on. This one's the least accurate in my experience, but this one's actually relatively accurate. So I'd keep these on, and then you could type in, I don't know, let's say sports, and it'll pull up every, right, marketing and salesperson that has a high level like decision maker within sports companies, right? Anyone that has sports in their name in some place, right? And if you click on keywords, again, keywords aren't always 100% accurate, but they're definitely, in my opinion, a lot more accurate than industry. So that's how we tend to search. And then the way that you might do this is you would go through this list and you would click, on a couple of these businesses. You're not talking about every single one of these businesses because there's obviously 76,000, but you would click on like a few of them and you'd click and you'd go, okay, do they fit the criteria? Obviously, this is made up criteria, but do they fit the criteria that we're looking for? Right? And you go, yeah, okay, fantastic. You might do that for say like 10, 20. And then if 20 out of 25 or 20 out of 20 fit your criteria, then it's more than likely that the rest of the list is going to fit your criteria. One very small tip is I always go like scroll like way later in the list, so maybe like page 48, and you'll need the basic account of Apollo to do this. Otherwise, it limits you to like 5 pages. Just get the basic. It's like $49 a month. It's not much, and you get really, really good data. And then you can check on like these pages. And if the results are good on these pages, then really you're kind of like, if you've got 80, 90% hit rate of like the results, you can refine it a little bit more. But if you're getting like a good rate and you've got a larger list, then you're good to go of exporting it. Another thing as well that you can do is you can exclude keywords. We do this a lot. So a lot of times, if you're using searches like this, you might get some that are just categorizing correctly, which is why it's worth just going through. It might take 10, 15 minutes extra, but you're going to have a really good list afterwards. that is your ideal customer of who you're trying to reach, which is half the battle really. So yeah, exclude, and then you can look at like, what you do here is you can go in the keywords and say, oh, there seems to be engineering's coming up all the time. I'm just going to get rid of that, right? And then that won't come up anymore. So yeah, so that's how you might do something like that. Then you can do email status. I actually prefer to keep this off completely, 9 times out of 10, just because when I export the list, I want it as large as possible. And then we actually put it into Clay where we can enrich a lot of the information. But let's just say you weren't to do that. And let's just say you were to find like verified and guest. So this is basically the emails that Apollo has verified or has tried to find or has their email addresses. And then guest is like a guest email address. You can also do other searches like technologies, revenue, funding. We don't tend to do a lot of them. The only one we might use here is technologies, maybe funding or maybe job posts. Also, one more thing as well, there's more filters here, which people don't always realize and they forget, but you can do like time zones, you can do, which is actually pretty cool because then you can reach out to people who are in a specific time zone. And yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff. So you can do resale locations, headcount growth, founders year, if you want to find companies that have been around for like a certain amount of time, things like that. So yes, there's a lot of stuff that you can do and a lot of filters that you can apply. If you want to export this list, there's a couple of different ways that you could do it. Yeah, and there's a couple of different ways that you could do it. I always make sure to save my search afterwards. So I would click save search and then I would just enter the name of the search that I want to save. If I wanted to export my list, there's a really cool way that you can do this instead of, because with Apollo, you only get 10K credits. So once you've added 10K people to a list, it won't let you add more and then you have to buy more credits or upgrade your subscription. So I don't do that. So instead, I would just not even select this, but I would just literally click copy and then go over to either export Apollo Lead Scraper or export Apollo, whichever one that you want. I've used both of them. They're both really good service. It's very simple, and I've talked about this in other videos, but you click here, click paste, and then click the number of leads that you want to pull. So in this case, we've got 53,000. Obviously, it's a huge amount, and we're going to pull that. But if you want to pull that, 50,000 is the max that you can do, which is pretty cool. You can pull 50,000 leads for $150. So in total, with the Apollo subscription, and you don't even need the Apollo subscription. That's the thing. You only need the Apollo subscription really if you're trying to do like technologies and any of these kinds of filters. But if you're not, then you don't actually need it. But I use Apollo all the time, so why not pay for it? Then yeah, literally that's $200 for 50,000 leads, which I think is a pretty good deal. Now, obviously, once you've exported the list, what we then go into is we want to validate the emails. So this is where we go into email verification. So email verification is once we've exported that list, we can either do it A in Clay or B, we can do it in what we like to use is debounce. Debounce can also integrate with Clay, and I've created videos on how to do this. And I've got loads of videos on Clay, so I'm not actually going to touch on that. That is part of our workflow, but I'm not going to touch on that right now. We would load the list in here, and then obviously just make sure that we use our credits to filter the list and basically find. What I found with Apollo is if you select here verified and guest, you're normally going to get anywhere from 30 to 60% of the emails that are like after you run it through debounce, they'll be verified. So just as an FYI, you're going to get like maybe around 50%, I would say. Most of the time we get about 50% if we use just verified. Excuse me, smoke in the air or something. So that's how it would work. Cool. Once you verified them, then what you're going to do is export it out of here, and then you're going to push them into SmartLead so that you can, we can start writing the copy and script testing. So here is a campaign on SmartLead, how you create one. So you would click on create campaign, and then we would obviously title it, let's say test 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call the campaign. You would upload your CSV. So if you've gotten the results from here, you just download make sure you download the verified emails, and then you'd upload the CSV, put it in here, and then you go into the sequence, and then this is where you can obviously type out, hey, first name and all the different variables that you want. It's all that you're looking for. Looking for sales reps. Thought about outsourcing to a pay on performance model. We've helped big brands like XYZ generate 37,800 in revenue over 90 days. Cool. Something like that. Would you like their case study on this. This is just an example, but yeah, you get the point. And you just put, thanks, cool. And then just make sure you save that. And then you can also add variants. So you could split test A/B test. So obviously we just split test, subject line test, and you would put A, B, you can do C test, D test, etc. And then over time, once you sent 500 or 1,000 emails plus, you can start to see patterns of what's working and what's not working. You can also add follow-up steps. So if you want, 2 days later, you can send them a follow-up and say, hey, did you get my last email? Etc., right? And then you would click save and go on to the next one. You can also add, after you've done this, you can click onto, I'm just going to click on this so I can show you the next steps. You might click setup, then you would click on choose a sender account, so who you want to send this from. And then this goes directly into the rotating inboxes. So you've got email 1, email 2, email 3. So you would, once you've set those up, you've added them to Smart Lead and everything like that. Then yeah, you'll be able to basically just select them. So you could have like, I don't know, Oliver at tryabc.com, oliver.marshall@tryabc.com, and then you would basically just add them to the campaign. You can also schedule the campaign as well. So if you want it on Monday to Friday time zone, you could also choose the time zone. So I don't know, we're doing London. Then we reach out to London, and then we can set the campaign start date. And then we can also set the number of leads that we want to review, that we want to reach out to every single day. So we could put that as like 1,000. But also this depends on how many email addresses that you're using. So if you're sending 30 emails per day, and you've got 30 email accounts, that's 900 emails that you're able to send every single day. So you can put the limits on this as well like that. And then you can go in for final review here, and then you can also add a couple of different settings. A couple of settings here that I would very much highly recommend. It would be boost your deliverability by sending emails in plain text. Don't track open, don't track link links. And I would also push this down to about 90, if 80 to 90% basically. So it's going to focus more on reaching out to new leads as opposed to following up. We actually do less follow-ups now. We're doing more just focus on first emails, because first emails and really just like a bump email or a different value add email working. And we want to focus more on getting across more people within the TAM as opposed to just following up. So there's that, and then we can also select auto categorize the leads. So we can say AI will automatically add them as like interested, not interested. We can also set it up so that out of office, and then it will reactivate those out of offices automatically after say like 2 days. I don't put unsubscribed messages or anything like that. I also make sure that this is ticked, so Gmail to Gmail, Outlook to Outlook, your mailbox providers for boosted delivery. It basically matches them. I would save that. I would also just add webhooks so that you get a notification on Slack every time that there is a message that someone that responds. And then you just click here, literally just click here, send and start. And that's how it works. So that is the process. We start off with this, we go list building, we do the verification, then we write the copy, we write the test, do the scripts and everything, and then we push it to Smart Lead. And then from Smart Lead, that's where we send, that's where we respond to the emails, that's where we do everything from there. And then all of our data is pushed either into Airtable or to Slack. And we're also in the process of building out an AI inbox manager, and having that being able to respond to your leads within less than 5 minutes, which is a massive, massive, massive boost, so that we can basically get more meetings booked for you guys as well. So if you're interested in learning more about our services and what we do and how we can help you book in more meetings and close more deals, book in a call below, and I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.